Hit it.
Cheryl Weston, CHERYLWESTON, and I am a member of the North Omaha OPPD Coal Plant Ad Hoc Committee. And the purpose that we have here was to be able to have a meeting, public meeting with Javier Fernandez and board member of OPPD to hear from the community what we see as problems or get questions answered that, I think maybe one of the biggest things came out was there's not that community involvement. We always get it at the end. There's things that's we're going to get from the new. Let's just go on and try to have a regular communication. Community and ground.
And Javier is the CEO of OPPD?
Yes, he is.
And then who is the board member?
Eric Williams.
Eric Williams?
Yeah. And Eric has been very cordial in coming to a lot of community meetings. But as you see by one gentleman, it's a frustration that people have. And it's like when it gets into you, you have to let it out. And so I think this was a step in getting communication, having some engagement with people, because we're human beings.
So do you feel good about OPPD's response?
Yes, I did. Is it perfect? No, but no one's perfect. What it came across is that at least they're open and willing, and it's going to be up to us staying on them is to say, hey, we are the community. We do pay. You're working for us in a sense, and the board, because it's a public utility company. That's it.
I need to be careful about not letting things from staff. It's difficult to ask instructions to many different staff. Plus, you talk about how do we feel about additional engagements, receiving feedback, the engagements. That's something that we'll talk about, and then we can go to the process.
Solve a problem with many different good ideas, and I think that's what makes this community move. That we have diversity of ideas, diversity of angles, how we're attacking these, and I don't doubt, even in the most heated part of the discussion, we have good intentions behind everything that we're asking. I hope that what you take from here is that there's a genuine interest in continuing this discussion. The work to transform our energy, the energy transformation is not for the faint of heart. I have lost nights of sleep. I've cried with my wife when we have these type of events. When I come home, I'm a human too. And I am charged with keeping the power onto this community. No one is going to cut me any slack or give me any slack when the lights go out.
Right. Yeah.
And we're trying to make this energy transition a reality while keeping reliability and affordability in front of us. It's not easy. We are making a ton of progress. Now, we may not agree on the programs we have, and we may not have all the customer satisfaction. We'll continue to work on that. But make no mistake, you're hearing it from me, and I have a board member here. We are doing our very best to make this transition happen. I am proud of working at OPPD because I am seeing the work we're doing. We are leading in the nation in many, many ways. The legacy that we have with our power plants, with the aging infrastructure we have, it's a big issue. We're trying to make gigantic steps. We just had the ribbon cutting of the largest solar facility in Nebraska with 81 megawatts. That was a dream a few years ago, and it's a reality today. We are changing all of our meters to advanced metering infrastructure that's going to allow us to offer so many more things to our customer owners. We continue our relentless effort to be a net zero carbon by 2050 utility. It's not easy. It takes a lot of us, and it takes a lot of us working together. I understand the frustration. We are not the enemy. We need to work together. That's what I'm asking for, a respectful dialogue. For us to call the ad hoc committee, let's bring good ideas to the table. We're part of this community. We're doing our very best to provide that reliable, affordable, sustainable energy so that you can go about with your lives and be prosperous and generate all the happiness and about us, because we will be there for you, providing clean, providing reliable, affordable energy. So thank you for inviting me. These conversations are tough, and they can get emotional sometimes.
Yeah.
But you need to know that you have an energy partner. It's not just our logo. We are your partners. We are a part of this community, and we need you to continue to help us so that we can all continue to succeed. Thank you all for having
Thank you very much. Thank everyone for coming. I appreciate it.
Mr. Corbin, do we have a Greener Together program? Have we improved on the accountability and the transparency of
That is greatly improved, but we've been talking about on-bill financing and things like
Okay.
that forever too,
So-
which could also help benefit
But
what
let
we talked
me
about.
just talk about that. The way that program was originally designed, it was not designed to be tracked, it was not designed for that. We made a big change on that. So we are paying attention, we're addressing those issues. We have voluntary programs where customer owners can opt in, say, hey, I'm gonna donate some amount of money on a monthly basis, and those funds eventually make it to the Greener Together program. They're voluntary, they're not mandatory.
I understand, but
But let me explain to you. There is a legal reason why we cannot do this. And I'm thankful we have Senator McKinney on the call, because this is something that would require the state legislature to take action. To enable Nebraska to have low income rates. We don't have that. I came from another state on the West Coast in Oregon where that was normal. You can have low income rates where you put in that dollar that you were talking about, and you put that in a fund, and that is distributed. We don't have that ability legally today to do it in Nebraska. It's something that would require state legislation to occur. Not lack of will. We don't have it.
I would suggest.
I think it's a fantastic idea.
Right, but I would say, no, and, our baseline is for the community. I'm more concerned about, you said customers, correct?
Customer owners.
Yeah, customer owners. I would love to do business with you guys in regards to a vendor, being a vendor in regards to getting outreach out, also consistent message to reach the whole metro area. I think that's the first foundation that we need. And then second of all, I would love to present a plan where we can create residual income with an opt-in program. So when people pay their bill, maybe $1 or $2 will go into the energy fund, because at the end of the year, it's like they run out all the time. If we had a one-time opt-in, but we had to do a campaign. How many customers do we have? How many customer owners are there?
Well, meters, 410,000 meters.
So say there's a donation of $1 from every customer every month. We wouldn't have no problem of the elderly paying their bills or people. And so I presented this plan, but no one wanted to listen to a mechanism, because my mama couldn't read or write, and so she depended on our neighbors. But if we don't have a mechanism, and our older people and the poor people are getting evicted because they can't pay this and this and this, we need a mechanism that will create a residual income so people can pay their bills. Regardless, because we said customers?
You are customer owners. You
Okay,
can
okay,
pay
yeah,
utilities. We don't have shareholders.
Well-
Thank you for that. And you see this.
Because and I want to be part of that, because I already got the plan, and I know for a fact that we'll have extra money, so nonprofits in our community can also use that money to infect energy assistance program, like my man John has ideas for other ideas we have in our community. We can self-fund that with our own customers. But we have certain organizations say they run out of money, or people go through, I won't say red tape, and it's unnecessary. We got the same organization that's managing this money, and our people are suffering. I think we need to look at who's managing that money, because it's not trickling down to the real people. I reached almost 1 million people, and I'm here for a reason, because my people are getting their bills cut off, and people don't care. They care about all this other stuff, but real life, people are trying to pay their bills.
So let me just clarify. I hope you're talking about other organizations and not OPPD, not being
No.
transparent.
I'm talking about everybody. I'm talking about you guys cut off people bills if they can't afford it, but there's a mechanism that we can develop where no one bill has to ever get cut off again.
Right, but in terms of transparency and where the funds come, I think that's something that we take very, very seriously. Thank you for the question, and you see me smiling because this is one of my top priorities. I have many conversations with the board about this. We have programs that address that.
They're not working. They're not working.
Let me finish.
Forever.
Yeah.
Can I please, like, the low energy income efficiency program is supposed to have been around for a long time. When I ran for OPPD board and I questioned Anne McGuire about this program, she admitted that it needs to be more transparent. Because people have been donating on their bills for a long time to the Green Energy Fund and where has that money all been going? Because the assumption is that it has just been paying building interest and sitting on it and nobody's been doing anything with it. The programs are crap. They follow the same guidelines as all these other programs, and that has been for years and years and years. But everybody says we have a program for that. Anytime we come and try to talk about poor people, we have a program for that. Like, he has an actual, like, that's a really good idea, and it wouldn't cost OPP
No.
Well,
any money.
if you let me answer,
It's like crowdfunding, and this is a long time. No, this is really gonna cost.
Okay, I
time.
wanna get another answer in here, cause promise
I appreciate it.
time.
Okay.
And we do appreciate, but this is to gather, Senator, and, start arranging some type of that to get some community input in order to sit down and have that meeting with OPPD. You had a question?
I don't know what that would entail, but yeah. We are part of the community. We're members of the community, and community benefits are important to all of us. It really all depends on what the agreement.
What can you do and what will you do to assist the North Omaha ad hoc community to be a fully active participant in OPPD's community inclusive and culturally competent public engagement process? I think it's having these type of discussions. It's engaging with the group when appropriate, where appropriate, in whichever capacity you want to do it. Just a good example of this was, we didn't coordinate very well, but I think the last meeting you had, or one of the last meetings you had with this group, happened exactly at the same time as we held an event at the Salem Baptist Church. And we did that as a result of active engagement with this group. We got the message very clear to say, hey, you need to communicate better. You really need to reach into our communities and not wait for them to come to your board meeting, but you come to the places where they play, when they pray.
Support the inclusion of environmental justice in SSL. We hope to be managed by design. We support what the board tells us to do. That's part of the governance. Our job is to inform the board about the feasibility, the pros and the cons as they make policy decisions. But make no mistake, we work for the board. So just wanna make that clear. Grants and federal funding. Lots of announcements on grants and federal funding coming to Nebraska. This is super exciting. Approximately $200+ million federal dollars from the IRA. About a $62 million grant from for the Center of Rural Affairs, and I see we have someone on the screen from the Center of Rural Affairs.
I want to be careful about not speaking on behalf of any of the board members. Again, the Systems Committee is working on this, and in terms of whether or not draft language presented to the public is given sufficient additional review prior to approval by the board, I would refer to last year in 2023, when through significant public comments, the board went back to consider additional updates to Strategic Directive 9 after the draft was originally considered. And so there is good precedent for, upon hearing public comments related to a critical policy update, the board understands, yes, we want to make sure and hear from this. So, if the 30-day public comment period is not sufficient to get the type of input that we need from community members to get a draft that board members and staff and public agree is what's needed for the organization, there are other ways to take additional time to make sure we have the right language rather than just language that is ready to be approved on a short timeline. So I guess that's my position on this. Again, other directors need to give their own position on it, but I can say that in talking with others, they have said it's more important to have the right language than it is to have it approved in the very near term. So, when that draft is available, we encourage strong public engagement on what you would like to see in that language prior to a final approval. And again, board members definitely listen when we receive board contact forms and feedback during public engagement periods.
A report right now written by the NAACP back in 2014 called Cold Blooded this power plant has been notorious for being one of the most environmentally racist power plants in the country for a long time. And addressing environmental racism is about a process as well as an endpoint. So is there a way that we can have open engagement so we don't have to wait for a 30-day comment period? Because what we're really trying to do is energy efficiency, right? So it would be like more efficient for community engagement from the outset rather than down the road. But I guess I have to say that I share the gentleman's disappointment that we still don't have an environmental justice statement when we know Creighton studies, UNO studies, people who live near that power plant, their life expectancies are being cut by 5 and 10 years compared to people who live in Dundee and West Omaha, and that's just tragic. I mean, it's downright criminal.
Do we know it, really?
I mean, Eric, you've seen these reports too, and like life expectancy is lower in North Omaha
Because of the coal plant?
Yes.
because of the coal power plant. Yes, sir. Like that is just documented.
So to the question.
I've done environmental justice work for over a decade around the world and all across the country, including in Mexico, where we got Senate Bill 1440 passed, which required the shutdown of a coal power plant and a just transition fund for workers who would be affected. And the reason why that bill was so effective is because we didn't really wait for comment periods. It was transparent and it was on the process. So what I'm hearing from Mr. Williams is that there will be essentially closed-door meetings with the board. Something will be released. There'll be a 30-day comment period. That's not following the tenets of environmental justice, specifically the most principles for democratic organizing. So, I mean, adding to the gentleman's point.
Further help us refine and prioritize resources, but it's definitely a priority.
Question is, what harm would be done if you put it in SD7, which you're looking at now? And there's a lot of overlap in your strategic directives. If you don't put it in this time, it's going to be perceived, at least by me and probably others, they're kicking it down the road again, and who knows when you're going to get to the magic strategic directive that it belongs in.
Yeah, I think that's a question for our board. There's no harm. There is a very specific governance structure, and I really appreciate our board looking at where policies belong. What is the ultimate objective that the board wants to drive in the organization? That's what we have with different strategic directors. Is it possible that it belongs in SD7 and the board agrees? Yes, it's possible. I'm just saying it may belong in a different one, and the board may go in a different direction. The perception is important, and you're hearing from me right now, and you're hearing from 1 out of 8 board members right now. It will likely happen. Whether it's next month in SD7 or it's in the future for SD, that's up to the board to decide.
Yeah, I mean, just,
On making an environmental justice statement without
Oh my
having to go
goodness.
through
So
the board.
the-
And you're wanting to, management
budget-
is wanting to do that.
Thank you for that. The budget in 2024, we started working on the budget for 2024 in the summer of 2023. Back then, we budgeted for these positions, right? So we've been working on these for, we've been planning for these positions and we're hiring